Have you ever stopped and just thought about your life? I mean, are you living a life that you consciously designed or one that just sort of happened? Today, we're diving into this really cool framework from Stanford's design school that treats your life like the most interesting project you'll ever get to work on.
So I'm going to ask you point blank. Is the life you're living right now the one you actually, intentionally designed for yourself? It's kind of a heavy question. I know, but it's a really important one. Because the truth is, it is so incredibly common to just end up somewhere, To wake up one day and think, wait, how did I get here? This wasn't the plan. But the good news, the really good news, is that you can start designing from exactly where you are, right now. Okay, so let's get into the how. We're going to walk through 5 key steps. First, we'll reframe our thinking and get rid of some of those mental blocks. Then, we'll get creative and brainstorm some possible futures. After that, we'll look at how to test those futures out, build a daily system to make progress, and finally, how to actually pick a path and go for it. First things first, we've got to do a little mental spring cleaning. You see, life design really starts with tackling these dysfunctional beliefs that hold us back, a lot of the time without us even realizing it. And the first myth is a big one. It's this idea that you're just supposed to know your one true passion. Talk about pressure. But design thinking flips this on its head. It says passion isn't something you find, it's something you actually build and develop over time by getting curious and trying things out. And check this out. Research from Stanford shows that less than 20% of people actually have one single identifiable passion. So for the other 80+% of us, that advice to follow your passion is actually terrible. It just makes you feel like you're doing something wrong. Oh man, this next myth, that feeling that you're falling behind. Behind who? Behind what schedule? Life is not a race, Everyone is on their own unique, messy, non-linear path. The only place you can possibly start is right where you are, and that is absolutely okay. Now this is a super useful concept, gravity problems. Think of them like gravity. They are the facts of your situation that you just can't change. The mistake we all make is trying to solve a gravity problem. The real move is to accept it and then design your life around that reality. Okay, so our minds are reframed, we've cleared out the junk. Now it's time to play. Instead of trying to find that one perfect life, we're going to brainstorm multiple amazing lives you could actually live.
This is a fun exercise called Odyssey Plans. You're going to map out 3 totally different 5-year futures. Plan number 1 is your current path, just, optimized and made awesome. Plan 2 is your pivot. What would you do if plan 1 just went away tomorrow? And plan 3, that's the wild card. The thing you'd do if money and what people think just didn't matter. The whole point is to prove to yourself that there is more than one exciting version of your future out there.
So you've got these 3 awesome plans. Now what? Well, you don't just quit your job and move to Costa Rica to open a surf shop. Not yet, anyway. Just like a designer, you need to build prototypes. You need to gather some real-world data in a low-risk way. It's like test driving a car before you buy it. And there are 2 really simple ways to do this. First, prototype conversations. Go find someone who is already living one of your potential futures, offer to buy them a coffee, and just ask them to tell you their story. Second, you create prototype experiences. Thinking about going back for a degree? Don't enroll. Just audit one class. See what it feels like. Try before you buy.
All right, this is where the rubber meets the road. How do we connect these big, exciting visions to the small, daily actions that actually create change? Because let's be honest, a vision is pretty useless without a system to actually work on it.
And it all comes down to this brilliant quote from productivity guru David Allen. Your mind is for having ideas, not holding them. Seriously, your brain is a terrible office. Trying to keep track of every little to-do, every deadline, every idea, it just creates stress and makes it impossible to focus. You have to get that stuff out of your head.
So here's a super simple system that works. Step 1, capture. The second a new task or idea pops into your head, write it down on one single list. Don't think, just capture. Step 2, plan. Every morning, look at that list and your calendar and decide what's most important for today. And step 3, schedule. Put those important tasks into your day and punt everything else to a future date. It's simple, it's stress-free, and it is so effective.
All right, you've reframed your mindset, you've brainstormed futures, you've run some tests. Now you've reached the final step, making a choice and actually moving forward. And I got to tell you, this is where a lot of us get totally stuck. The big bad guy here is something psychologists call choice overload. It's this weird paradox where having too many options actually makes it harder for us to choose anything at all. And even when we do choose, we end up feeling less happy about it.
This famous study shows it perfectly. So a grocery store set up a jam tasting booth. When they put out 24 different flavors, tons of people stopped to look, but only 3% actually bought a jar of jam. But when they only offered 6 flavors, 30% of the people who stopped actually bought one, 10 times more. Fewer options lead to more action.
So how do we choose well? First, gather up your options. Then, and this is so important, narrow the field. Remember the jam? Force yourself to get it down to just a few real contenders. Next, listen to your gut. Your intuition is basically your brain's supercomputer processing all your past experiences. And finally, and this is the magic key, make the choice and commit. Don't look back. Research shows when we treat our choices as final, our satisfaction with them goes way, way up.
So, there you have it, a whole new toolkit for shifting from a life that just happens to a life that you actively design. Let's do a quick recap of the core process, shall we?
The most important thing to remember is that this isn't some linear, step-by-step plan you do once. No way. It's a loop. It's a process. You get curious, you talk to people, you try stuff. And based on what you learn from all that, you make a good choice and commit to the next small step. It's all about building your way forward, one experiment at a time.
So the question I want to leave you with is this. What is one tiny, low-risk prototype? Just one conversation or one small experience that you can run this week to get started on designing your life.